Hi, welcome to Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I'm so excited to be back. I've missed you guys while I've been gone, and I'm so grateful to Juliana for taking over while I was away. We're gonna swap on and off because she loved it so much she didn't want to give it up, and I can't blame her. It's like my favorite part of the week. But let's dive right in because we have so many books releasing this week. We've got double releases on 3 days this week, I think. But we're gonna dive right in with Maeve's book, and it's book 6 in the Seven Unsuitable Sisters, and it's a lesson Mary Marquez. Can you tell us about this one? The cover is gorgeous. The graphics with this one are just beautiful.
Oh, I love the cover. Of course, all my covers with Dragonblade. I've loved them. I think they're great. Uh, this is, like you said, book 6, and it's about Mary, and she's the baby of the family. And she is the perpetual ray of sunshine. I mean, glass half full. She always looks on the bright side. And the funny thing is that her polar opposite is Duncan, and he's a grumpy Scot. But now, in his defense, he's had a rough childhood, so his father was very cruel to him. So and anytime anything would make him happy, his father would take it away from him.
Oh,
So that's that's where Duncan's backstory comes from. But they meet when Mary and her sister Serendipity are traveling back from a cousin's house, and it's in the winter, and their carriage slides into a river, and
oh no.
they're about to, it crashes into the river, and the
Oh
driver's doing his
no.
best to save them, but he's alone. He's trying to get the carriage out, the horses, the women, everything. Well, in comes the Scottish cavalry, which is Duncan and his brother Malcolm, and they're able to pull Mary and Serendipity to safety. And of course, Mary's just overjoyed because not only is she safe now, but this Scotsman is a very good-looking man, and she's just so thankful and everything, and he's just trying to kind of very coolly brush it off. He's attracted to her, but he won't trust it. He just doesn't want to trust it. And she just delights in poking the bear because
Yeah.
she'll get him to talk to her, make him pay attention to her and everything. And so here they are out in the wilderness, and of course he's got to get the women to safety, and so he and his brother, they get them to a very crowded carriage house because that's where everyone's taking shelter for the storm. And so they pretty much kind of sit with the women and protect them from any ne'er-do-wells that might be lurking. And while Mary, early in the morning, the next morning, while Mary is thanking him once again for his gentlemanly behavior and for saving them, and she says, it'd be okay if you called on me. And he'd said, well, I never get to England, and I never get to the Lake District. I stay in Scotland. And she thought, well, how dare he? Fine.
When a lady lays out the welcome mat, you're supposed to take a step onto it.
Exactly. And she's like, well, I'm not going to beg you to come and see me, So she just goes on. Well, the funny thing is that Malcolm has noticed that Duncan, his brother, and Duncan is his hero, and he's noticed that Duncan really kind of likes Mary, but just won't pursue it. So Malcolm thinks, I'll take care of this. He steals Mary's reticule and doesn't give it to Duncan until they're back in Scotland, and says, don't you think you might ought to return this to her? And of course, Duncan's mother, Malcolm has had this habit. He's the younger son, and he's always into stuff, and has had this habit of being a pickpocket just for the thrill of it ever since he was a kid. And Duncan's always been bailing him out. And so, the mother says, well, you've got to take it back to her and apologize for your brother's behavior. And so, of course, once again, that forces Duncan into Mary's orbit. And of course, she's delighted. But Duncan, little by little, she's thawing him. And eventually, of course, everything works out and they end up together. But then Duncan really messes up. because he wants to protect her, because he's so afraid that once he has her, he's going to lose her.
Like a grump does. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is this action that almost tears them apart, and then that you have to read the book to find out the rest.
Yeah. I'm totally in. I love Grumpy Sunshine is like one of my favorite tropes. And a good wingman is like, that's even better.
Oh yeah, brother helps him along.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And there's one more book in the series?
Two, actually. There's
also we've got Seven Unsuitable Sisters.
Yeah, because after the brother has survived marrying off all his sisters, you got to have his story. So Chance's book will be the last book of the series. But yeah, Serendipity is next. She's the eldest sister, and she's the one that's pretty much kind of raised everybody and made sure everyone got married and all that stuff. So
she deserves something good then.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, the next books that came out this week are Lion's Den books, and the first one is Elizabeth's book, and it's A Lion Dares to Dream. Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, sure. So this is my first Lion's Den book. I'm very excited.
Oh, cool. Oh,
yeah.
Very cool.
It's also my first book in the Regency period, so I'm excited about that as well. I was a little bit nervous, I must admit, but I had a blast doing it. It was great fun. So yeah, the title of the book is A Lion Dares to Dream, and it is very much about sort of having the confidence to follow your dreams, like not wild dreams, not searching for great riches and splendor, but just daring to believe that you can be happy and sort of live the life that you want to live rather than the life that everyone thinks that you should live. So we've got Marianne as the heroine. She is a young widow. She's a young widow with a lot of problems, bless her, but all she wants is a lovely childhood for her young son. That's all she wants. She wants the sort of childhood that she had, where she could sort of run outside and climb trees, and she's got this thing about eating apples straight from the tree and splashing in streams. She just wants him to be sort of free and happy. Going back a little bit, Marianne's father was a gambler, which unfortunately brought her into contact with the Lion's Den at a young age. He's mad. They don't know when they're well off, do they? So Marianne was titled, came from a fairly good family. Unfortunately, her father gambled a lot of their money away. So Marianne married a very wealthy industrialist. He had the money. She had the title. Should have been a match made in heaven, but it really wasn't. As soon as Victor realized that marrying a titled lady wasn't going to, ease his path into London society, he blamed her for that. He started some quite scandalous rumours about her, namely that she was having an affair with their gardener. Then he died, and all these rumours are still circulating about Marianne. And not only that, but a series of suspicious events happen in their home. She's quite worried that someone intends her harm. Obviously, with her out of the way and her young son out of the way, then there's this fortune, this business, massive house to inherit. So she's quite scared. She's all alone in the world, really. She flees to London to sort of claim sanctuary with her aunt, who is one of these grand dames of London society. And her aunt is quite happy to take her in. Unfortunately, though, the two women look remarkably similar. And as I said, there are these scandalous rumours circulating about Marianne. So her aunt decides the best way through this situation is to marry her off to someone else. This was the way forward. Marianne's that's happened to her once. She's been married off already. She's not up for that. But when she starts to feel like she's being followed, even in London, and she worries for her son's safety, she thinks, okay, I have to take control of this situation. I'm going to go back to the Lion's Den. I'm going to find a man myself rather than marry another of these rich guys that just bring me misery. So that's what takes Marianne to the Lion's Den. Benedict, the hero, he has recently returned from France. He was a soldier. He endured lots of horrors on the battlefield, including the death of his best friend, who and that this sort of haunts him. And obviously these days we would recognise PTSD, etc. But back then it didn't. So he was just trying to get on with his life. The big problem that Benedict faces is that he is very tall, very sort of broad, dark hair. His nickname is Bear because he's, this real big, dark-haired, rough and tumble.
Maeve and I are both going, ooh.
His family are all small and blonde. So there have been perhaps accurate rumours circulating all his life that Benedict isn't his father's son. And whenever they're out in public, it's quite clear that he's not his father's son. His father obviously isn't fond of him. So Benedict doesn't have the best of times, but then his maternal grandmother bequeaths him her country estate in her will. So this is great. So he can, leave London, leave society that sort of points the finger and sniggers at him and go and just live this lovely life in the country. But the house is falling to pieces. He needs a big injection of funds. His younger sister also wants to get out of London, also sort of feels that, she's not a natural debutante. She's not loving it. He wants to take her away as well. But yeah, he needs the money. So obviously that's what takes him to the Lion's Den. Mrs. Dove-Lion matches them together. And that's where the sort of fun really begins, because there are all sorts of other threats from Marianne's past that come to the fore. She's been stalked by her brother-in-law who wants his brother's fortune in his hands. There's all sorts of problems that they have to overcome. But yeah, as Maeve said, you'll have to read the novel to find out what they are.
It sounds fantastic, and he's got exactly what she wants. Her son can grow up in the country, and it's everything. And I love a big bear of a man.
Yes,
because you can feel so small and protected and cherished and all that kind of stuff. We love a big bear of a man. So yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, the next book that came out this week, actually released on the same day, is Sarah's book, and it's another Lion's Den book, and it's The Lion's Sweet Temptation. Can you tell us about this one?
Of
He
course.
looks so young, the hero in this one. He looks so young. It's like he's just too young to be tempted. I need him to be a little older.
Well, I really love young heroes and young heroines. I like them a lot in many of my books. Not too young to do everything, but I do like them young, yes.
Yeah, young enough to start out together. I love that part.
Yes.
Both kind of at the same level instead of the older guy with the innocent.
Well, they start out together usually in my books, and now I'm seeing also a trend in my writing because they grow together and then they grow up together further. There's more growing up to do and more learning about themselves, but also learning what they could be together. And I think that's very
nice.
Romantic.
Oh, that is very romantic. Oh, I love that.
So
I love
love
it
to
so
write
much. Yeah.
I love to write that. There's a lot of this in this book. So this is my 5th Lion's Den book. And this time, the danger comes directly to the Lion's Den. So we have some nasty villains that we know from some of my other books, and they dare come to the Lion's Den.
They should know better.
They should know better. So, this is fun, right? So what happens here is we have the hero who is a chess master.
Oh,
And
cool.
he is a wolf. So he works for the Lion's Den. He's one of Mrs. Dove-Lion's people. And he sees trouble coming a couple of moves ahead because he's a chess player. And this book absolutely works for anyone who loves chess or does not love chess, because it's I tried to make the metaphors not too on the nose, but he does see strategically. He doesn't want to be blindsided. He wants to see the board. He analyzes it. He changes his perspective. So he's a smart hero, but also very much of a deep thinker and a protector, which is exactly what Mrs. Dove-Lion appreciates in him. And so his name is Sander, from Lysander from Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, cool.
And he's so cute. Anyway, so his part of the story and his character arc is a lot about earning your place in society, while society is trying to keep you out. And so,
Oh, yeah, nice.
as a wolf, he's out of society, and yet he's deep in the lion's den. He's really important. So then in comes the heroine. She arrives, and she is basically new in the beginning at the lion's den, and she is hired as a baker. And she is from Alsace. So she has a very special recipe that I'm also sharing in my reader group and in my Substack, and lots of research
Sorry, I'm
about.
going to have to join all those places.
It's going to be so much fun, and there are some real flavors that she uses. Her sweetness is really a weapon, but she doesn't know that because she's not a strategic thinker like Sander. So what they can be together is really what the lion's den needs. And what they don't realize is that they need each other. This time, this Lion's Den book is a Jewish Regency romance, like some of others that I have. But there's some real historical depth. I used conflicts that were real at the time.
Oh, cool.
And so the villain is trying to escalate these conflicts from the continent to the Lion's Den. And I had so much fun making Mrs. Dovelion be this perfect, she's this mysterious and strong anchor that we all love in the entire series. And she's like, look, you guys deal with this because this is not acceptable. So she doesn't have much, she does not have as much space on the page as I think I would love to have like another 90 pages, just her. But what the power she gives to the characters to take romance and use that for the good is really powerful in the story. So I hope everybody will really love it. Overall, this romance is about partnership and not rescue. So they have to come and learn that.
Nice. And that ties into wanting them to grow together and see what they can be together. I love that. That's lovely. Sometimes we want to watch the heroine get rescued or rescue the hero, and sometimes we want to see what they can be together. And that sounds fantastic.
Exactly. So he's the chess player. He has strategy. She has skill and courage. And together they learn that survival is not the same thing as living openly. And that is something that they can learn from somebody who is as fantastic as she is, but she's the Black Widow of Whitehall. So Mrs. Dovelion reigns in the dark, and they have to learn that from her. So I hope everybody will really love it. I have a fantastic finale that is actually based on something that Magnus Carlsen really did. And he's the highest, he's like the highest rated chess player alive. So I used something he really did, and I'm having that be the special skill that saves the story in the end. So I won't give you more details. Cool. It's really fun.
Very cool. Can you put? I'll put the links to all the books in the comments. Can you put the links to your socials or your Substack so we can get the recipes?
Yes, recipes and some historical facts and all kinds of things that kind of supported me while I was writing this book go all month into my Substack.
That sounds fantastic. You could pop the link in the comments. That would be great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we have 4 other books that released this week that we don't have authors with. So we'll catch up with the authors later, but I want to make sure I mention them. Sandra Succo has a new book in the Dashing Rogues and Ruined Librarian series, and it's Tristan with the Poison Pen, which, I kind of feel like we need to know about that one. So we'll see if we can catch up with Sandra at a future time. And then Paula Quinn had Where the Mountains Pierce the Highland Heart. And the cover for this one is like just, it's an object cover. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, so gorgeous. And that's book 2 in Where Heaven and Earth Collide. So I'm going to make sure I'll pop the link in the comments so you can grab that one if you don't have it already. And then we had for one minute, we had Kirsten Blackadder, and then her internet dropped out. So we lost her. But her book is The Viscountess in Bloom. And it's book 2 in the Society of Wanton Widows. So I'll make sure we pop the link in that one too. And then the last one is a re-release by Susan King, which is Princess of Shadows. And that's also a book 2 in Hearts of the Highland. So it's it's going to be a long list of links. So you're going to have your whole weekend planned with all the books to read. But the last book that came out this week, again, such a gorgeous cover. Holy moly, the covers for this series are staggeringly beautiful. Is Alexandra's book, and it's A Lady's Guide to Werewolves. And it's book 2 in A Society of Witches. Can you tell us about this one and tell us that we really get werewolves?
You do get werewolves. They're wolf shifters because it's not a horror, it's a romance. So it's not like the goobery werewolf. It's a lovely wolf. It's a Scottish wolf and he's tattoos and he's a big bear man. It's lovely. It takes place on Leoness Island, which is where all of the 3 books take place. The characters are 3 friends. You can read them separately, but they do sort of pop up in each other's books. So in the first book, Aidan Carnahan, who is the Earl of Coventry, and he's also a curator of the London Museum of Magic. He comes to the island because an amulet has been stolen. And our heroine, Sorsha, gets in his way a lot on purpose. She's trying to sort of throw him off the scent. She's trying to save her friend. So the second book is about them. They had a little moment, and then he went back to London, and she's trying not to care. Not doing a great job about it, but she's very busy. It's sort of like a Little Red Riding Hood with werewolves. So She lives in an old house. Her grandmother used to run a bakery. Her grandma has since died, but her ghost is still there, giving advice on how to bake the bread and how to make the cake. And that's not how you do that. And why are you wearing that? And her grandmother is still very much involved. And Sorsha has a sort of secret life. She's called the Red Cloak. And she helps save magical creatures like minotaurs and werewolves and hippogriffs, whatever sort of happens to be on the island, from a thing called the cauldron, which is like the fighting pits. These creatures are being stolen, nobody knows by who, and sort of forced to fight. And they are targeting werewolves, wolf shifters. So that's why Aidan has come back. And because Sorsha is sort of trying to sneak all these animals out, she is a chaos goblin. Aidan is very proper and doesn't really trust his wolf, so he's very careful and very serious. And she is just, I'm going to set fire to this barn. Let's see what happens.
This is the perfect time for you to tell the tagline to the series, the tagline to the book, because the tagline to the book is just, it's just awesome that he bit her.
She kind of liked it. He was protecting her, but she doesn't know that. She kind of liked it. So he's there to figure out who has been stealing these wolves. They set up a sort of an amulet to track the person who's involved. And because Sorsha is protecting the wolves in her own way, she's mad that this amulet is out and about. She doesn't know that it's being tracked, so she steals it because she's angry and spiteful, and you don't deserve that, so I'm going to take it.
Take a stop one.
So they kind of follow her, and then they find out that together they can sort of break this curse, but not really apart, because it's fighting each other is just, it's not worth it. They can't really do it for very long. So when they get together, Aidan gets the curse off of her, and they have sort of a fake betrothal so that they have a reason to be together. It's still Regency Island, even though there's witches and werewolves. There's still some, Regency rules, so they have to be a little bit more careful while they set fire to barns and do other things. So it's like, it's opposites attract. It's Little Red Riding Hood. It really is just
magic makes marriage of convenience.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. It's just chaos. I just let her go. Let's see what you do.
Oh, well, it sounds fantastic. And so we know, like, in this world, she can see witches and amulets have the magic and stuff. Is there anything else about the magical canon of it that's...
Yeah, the whole island is for witches. So it's like a secret island of witches in Regency England. And everyone has sort of a witchy talent. So Sorsha's talent is that she can understand birds and talks to birds.
Oh, I want that one.
Yeah, right? I've trained the crows in our neighborhood. They've started to come to Caudas for...
You have not.
Just like this week, so I'm feeling very on brand. It's great.
Yeah, that's so cool. That is so cool.
She makes little paper origami birds and sets a spell on them, and they circle the island looking for creatures that are in trouble that she can help. And that's how she sort of gets around and finds her trouble.
Yeah, she's got magical drones.
Yes, exactly. And Aidan is a shapeshifter, so he's a wolf. He has sort of innate magic, and he can see magic on items, on amulets, and
Oh,
Oh, I disappeared. Oh, I'm back.
You can see magic on amulets and items, and that's what.
And yeah, so to follow the trail of where they lead to. So that's how together they find the person who's running the cauldron.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we were all looking forward to this one, and not just because of the gorgeous cover. So.
Oh, the cover is, all three covers are so stunning.
Just like there was all kinds of oohing and eyeing when we got the product page stuff from Sean, because they're just beautiful. So.
Yeah, they really are.
Awesome. Well, I love the idea of Regency magic. That's fantastic. And a werewolf is almost as good as a big bear man. So,
Right?
Fantastic. Well, I will make sure I pop the links to all the books in the comments, so you can grab them if you haven't gotten them already. I'll do all the books, including the ones that aren't there, or for the authors that aren't here. I also want to take a minute and mention our Lions Den Kickstarter is in pre-launch. So we're doing, we always do an anthology every year. So we always do like an 8 something or other anthology. This year is 8 Roaring Lions. But in addition to the anthology, the whole anthology is an ebook, which will go up on Amazon later. We're doing these 2 gorgeous, oh my God, gorgeous editions, hardcover. They're 2 different shades of purple. They have sprayed edges. They have step backs that Dar designed, like just beautiful insets. Really, really lovely editions. And in addition to that, Catherine wrote Bessie Dove Lyons' origin story. So the Lion's Queen will be part of the Kickstarter. So you can grab that as well. So what you want to do, because not all of us are familiar with Kickstarter, So what you want to do is you want to find the link, which I will pop in the comments. You want to click the notify me on pre-launch. All that does is mean that they're going to email you when we go live, which will be in July. And you'll get the email, and then you can go and look and see what the tiers are and see what you want to do. But just click notify me on pre-launch so you don't miss it when it goes live. But that's I'm crazy excited about it. I check the numbers every day.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, Natalie and I worked a long time, and Dar worked so hard on the graphics to try and get the setup right. I can't wait for you guys to see the tiers, because it's just, like you can get everything you want. You can get signed vellums from the authors that are in the collection. It's fantastic. I'm very excited about it. So I'll make sure I do that. And then Juliana has put up the furry assistants, and I promised I wasn't going to make furry jokes of Dragonblade. And I saw Maeve's cat, so I thought, since we have just a couple minutes left, maybe you guys could talk about if you have any furry assistants, because it's one of my favorite things is seeing people's pets in the background.
Well, that was Louie. Yeah, and then he left because Brownie came in here, another cat, and I have 5 cats.
Oh, goodness.
Yes. Well, anything that shows up at my house gets fed, and some of them go inside. So anyway, but yeah, they periodically walk back and forth across the screen. And,
yeah.
Yes, but we have Louie, Charlie, Brownie, Binks, and Spaz, and he lives with his name. Yes, not all cats land on their feet when they fall. So those are my babies.
I have 2 corgis.
Oh, hello.
A small potato and a large potato. Mulder is the smaller, dramatic corgi, and Zod is a 12-year-old, and he's just a big.
Oh, I love it.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, that sounds fantastic. I saw somebody once had wings for their corgi, like little fairy wings that they put on. And when they went running, the wings went like
that would be awesome.
I'm gonna have to do that.
I feel like your corgis need wings.
I'm gonna have to do that.
It has to happen. So, Elizabeth, what about you? Do you have any pets?
I have a cat, a black cat. Sometimes I call her my witch's cat. She's called Eve, and yeah, she loves to walk in front of the screen, just to position herself in such a way that only her tail is visible.
So satisfying only to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's very affectionate. She always says good morning first thing in the morning, and yeah, she's the most affectionate cat we've ever had, actually. But sometimes it gets too much. So if she wants to chat, if she wants to cuddle, and you're actually busy and you're walking away, she will slap you. She's like, oi.
Oh.
But not hard, just make
No,
things-
just a reminder of your true job, which is to serve the pleasure of her. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Awesome. Sarah, do you have any pets?
At the moment, we don't, not inside. We are taking care of some birds, bunnies, lots of turkeys, deer, chipmunks, and all kinds of animals by consistently planting veggie patches to feed them in the backyard. So we are protecting the local wildlife's lunch options. In the winter, I feel terrible when we have a lot of snow because I'm in Boston. So this year, some animal carried away that big feeder we had with like crushed corn. So the kids and I built our own bird feeders out of old milk cartons upside down to feed them. So we hung them everywhere, and now we keep finding them because now everything's green. So we keep cutting them off, throwing them out, and we'll make new ones. You can hear them screaming downstairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's like feeding the outdoor wild animals is great. I don't have any pets right now either. I babysat for my middle son's dog, which is like, I'm not going to tell you what we called it because it's not nice, but we'll go with Chaos Goblin because she's insane. She was insane. And like, we were both like, when are you coming home? When are you coming home? And we came last night and picked her up because like, I think Em was going to run away from home. I didn't see her.
Evelyn, nothing is going to be worse than what my budgie was called growing up before I learned English.
Uh-oh.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if you want me to tell you.
Well, I don't have a bleep button, so if it's anything that would get us in trouble with the bleep, people know. But otherwise, yes, definitely, I want to know.
So I grew up in Germany, not speaking English until I was 5, and then I learned it. There is in my defense, there is a very educational preschool magazine with an adorable yellow bear and his friend, a blue dog. And that bear's name is Kiss, which in German is Bussi, which I couldn't pronounce. Yeah, you see where this is going. So when I was about 17, I think, we had guests from Florida in Germany. I had been to the US before, I had been to England before, and my English by that time was pretty good. And that didn't occur to me. And that was my budgie. You know, he was cute and green and adorable and very, very good little budgie. And so our guest asked, what's your bird's name? Yeah, you see where, I don't know, should I say it? Like, will it
Who
beat
can
me?
say it? That one I don't have to bleep.
So his name is Pussy, and he was a very good bird.
A very
Did it
good, very innocent bird, I'm sure.
He lived for a very long time. He lived for almost 19 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I didn't
He
know
had a
budgies could live that long. That's
Yeah, he had a very healthy diet of lots of cucumber, and that was his name. And so that was like the worst one.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Back in trouble with HR.
I named him when I was 5.
No, it's a
I
perfect.
think it's a perfect name.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So, well, on that note, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and thank you for taking the time to tell us about your stories. I love hearing about them, and I love hearing the personal stories about your life as well. It makes us all more connected, and that's kind of our goal. So I'll make sure to put the links in the comments so you can grab them if you haven't gotten them already. And remember that the Kickstarter, don't be scared of Kickstarter. It's fantastic. And you're not committing to anything except finding out more information. Click notify me on launch, notify me on launch. And then you will get more information when we launch in July. So thanks again, ladies. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy release week.
Bye-bye.